The Social Dilemma is a 2020 Netflix documentary drama directed by Jeff Orlowski. It actually explores how the internet's most popular products work on a business model of tracking users' behavior, manipulating our minds, and inducing addiction in us. The saying, if a product is free, then you are the product, is actually accurately depicted in this documentary, as we see how tech companies like Facebook and Instagram are selling their platforms to advertisers. Apart from the experts who narrate this documentary, the movie also presents a plot which shows a family and how their kids became heavily addicted to social media. The additional plot, in our opinion, made the movie even more understandable and relatable. It truly gives an understanding to what extent social media shapes us and consequently the society we live in. Technology companies such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and others, are only focused on getting viewers hooked to their respective platforms. This causes several different issues which will be further discussed in this video. The growth of such companies have been exponential in the past decade, up to trillion times of its initial capacity. Despite their impressive growth, both society and governments have overlooked their potential detrimental impacts, which would then increase its negative impacts on users, especially since more and more people are engaging themselves with these social media platforms. The movie even showed how American teens are admitted to the hospital for minor injuries due to self-harm after spending some time exploring social media. The experts who were involved in the documentary shared a common concern on how social media erodes the fabric of society itself, how it could change our lives without us even noticing.
Social media has brought detrimental impacts toward both ourselves and the society we live in. It has been even more apparent today, especially during this global pandemic, where misinformation and hoax spread faster than the COVID-19 virus itself. Insecurity is one of the most prominent effects of social media that takes a toll on a personal level. As mentioned earlier, social media has increased the number of American teens admitted to the hospital. Social media has made us extremely self-conscious because we, as a human beings, are not engineered to consider hundreds of opinions regarding ourselves. The presence of such platforms have exposed us to more people, and individuals often become too focused on what their followers have to say about them, placing their value as a person onto irrelevant construct like comments and number of likes. Another negative impact of social media is polarization of society, which was very apparent in the case of the last American election between Biden and Trump, where both Democrats and Republicans, more often than not, engage themselves in heated debates on various social media platforms. To an extent, the riots from Republicans who are anti-mask and anti-vaccination even took place and created mass chaos. This happens because AI installed for social media platforms are only presenting you news and information that aligns with your pre-existing interests. In other words, the news and information Democrats are consuming will not be recommended for Republicans and vice versa. With that being said, both parties will constantly bicker because the information they possess are different as well. All in all, the documentary has presented us with the harmful impacts instigated by social media. The next prevailing question would be what measures should be implemented to counteract the negative side effects of social media. In our opinion, pre-existing digital policies are not sufficient to curb the mentioned impacts in the documentary. Hence, we call upon an urgency for governments to stipulate regulatory policies regarding the mentioned matters for tech companies in order to counteract its detrimental impacts and protect society from such harm.